wind turbine, very controversial issue. Are they just absolute eyesores that are littering our countryside, or are they actual cheap source of electricity? We've come to the Hampole Windfarm near Doncaster to come and look at these wind turbines to make your decision. You know, are they an eyesore or aren't they an eyesore? And there might be a few facts along the way. The Humble coal-fired power station is there in the distance. That's Drax over there. Now we're currently, that's time's gone by, and that's the way we used to generate electricity, and that was the only way we used to generate electricity here in England. But what we're starting to find now is we've got structures like this here, like this massive wind turbine that's just sat on this hillside making free, pollution-free electricity. Right, round here, these wind turbines have just been newly constructed. You know, they've only just been built, and they're a new feature to the countryside round here. And from where I come, they're a bit of a controversial view. Now, it's not a windy day today, to be fair, right? And these wind turbines, as you can see, they're just spinning. You know, they're making electricity. The electricity that these wind turbines are producing is being fed straight into the national grid, right? So if you just look above me, we just have a look above it, we're just stood underneath this wind turbine. We're just stood underneath it. And it's absolutely massive. It's huge. Got to have at least 200 feet. Each blade's got to be at least 100 foot. So, we're currently at Amphole Windfarm. Now, there's also another wind farm in this area, and they actually are on the same hill line. They're like a bank of hill. There's a hill bank, and they're roughly at the same altitude. So if you look behind me, here, there's another wind farm. Now that's Barbara Wind Farm. Obviously we're at Hampole Wind Farm, but that's Barbara Wind Farm over there. Now, what it is with these wind turbines is they've all got their own substation. They've all got their own substation, and the substation is nearby. You know, that over there, you see that building down there? That's the substation. So obviously all the electricity that these 4 wind turbines are producing is being fed to that substation, obviously down a wire, and then being fed into the national grid. Now, whoever uses this electricity, it'll just be pumped into the national grid and just get used like normal electricity. You wouldn't even know you were using electricity that will come from a wind farm. But there's a little. Sometimes what you notice with wind turbines, especially wind farms, is there might only be one spinning round and all the rest have been shut down. Now, wind turbines are a little bit intelligent, because really what it is they cannot store the electricity. The wind farms haven't got big batteries, right, to store all electric that they use, right? As soon as the electric's produced at the turbine and fed into the substation, it's got to go into the grid. Now, people probably think, well, why aren't they just turned on all the time? It's free energy. But think about it. If it were just turned on all the time and these wind turbines were just rotating and going round and round and round, obviously that'll put more wear and tear on the turbine. And if there isn't a demand for it, where's the electricity going to go? Some days you'll go by and it'll be a really windy day and there'll only be one turbine going. And people think, well, it's right windy, let's get wind turbines going. But, you know, because there's no need for the actual electricity to be used, they might, on a windy day, they might have just one turbine in operation. And then another day you might go driving by wind turbine, there's hardly no wind, like today. There's not much wind in air. It's not a windy day at all, really, to be fair. In fact, there's hardly any wind at all. But all 4 turbines are in operation, so that tells me that the national grid has got a demand for electricity that your big power stations can't provide, such as Eggborough, Drax, Ferry Bridge, your big 3 round here. They're your big 3 power stations round here, right? So what's happening here is these 4 turbines have been turned on, right, to pick up the slack, basically, so to relieve strain on obviously the coal-fired power stations. It's just free electricity. That's the reason why they don't always use them. Plus another thing as well, it's wear and tear on turbine. So that's just a few facts on wind turbines. Now, we'll just have a look up a bit of footage at wind turbine going round. You know, the big things, these, the massive, it's got to be 200 foot tall. It's got to be 200 foot tall with each blade 100 foot. You know, and they are, they're massive. And you can hear wind catching sails as they go around. Free electricity. People do moan about them. People complain, we don't want a wind farm, we don't want a wind farm. But really, to be fair, what else would you be doing around here by growing crops? You know what I mean? So, I think personally, Colin the Eds opinion on a wind farm is I think they're alright. You know, I think, you know, we're looking for greener alternative energy solutions, and we've got it. We've got it here at Hampole Windfarm. We've got the future of Britain's electricity right here, and it's happening right now as we speak. This is Hampole Windfarm. I'm Colin the Ed. This is Colin the Ed's world of everything. Hey, wind's actually picked up while we're here, and you can actually hear turbine working inside actual tower at windmill. And me and cameraman here, we've just commented on how much more noise it's making. Can you hear it? Now wind's picked up, it's flying round. That's mad, that. Wind energy is local energy, right? And here is a prime example. Above me we've got some sub electricity lines. Obviously, if you look above me, these electricity pylons here, obviously wooden posts. These are local electricity lines. So after it's come from the transmission line from the power station, what happens is the electricity gets downgraded into what's called these sublines. Now the wind farm, this line of pylons outside of me runs parallel to wind farm. Now obviously at this side here we've got the substation. This is where the actual wind turbines, this is where all the electricity comes from, the wind turbines. Now if you look at the pylon behind me, we've got 3 feeders that are feeding into the actual grid, onto the actual power lines of Sen. Now this is where the actual wind energy is meeting the national grid, and it's being fed in on that pylon, that gantry behind me. Well, in front of me, should I say. So this is a prime example to demonstrate how local wind energy created from wind turbines is feeding the local area, because these power lines will feed local villages such as South Yorkshire, Carcroft, Redhouse, probably Upton, and obviously Skelbrook, you know, and obviously in that direction we've got Ickleton, Pickburn, Amphole, obviously Hampole Windfarm. So the actual energy that's being produced by these 4 wind turbines is local energy produced here on your doorstep.